You are listening to the Novel Writing Podcast, episode 172. I'm your host, Colleen Mitchell. Grab a cup, cozy up, and let's get to writing. Today we're going to talk about what age group you're writing for. Sometimes authors start writing a book with the intention that it will reach one age group, only to realize much later that it's actually at a younger or older level than they thought. There are several factors that determine which age group your book will fall into, and sometimes books can seemingly cross the boundaries between them based on content, writing style, or reading level. The foundation of this is understanding what the different age groups are and how to know you're writing for one versus the others. So let's take a look at the different age groups for books. First off, we'll start with children's books. These can range from board books for infants to 3 years old, picture books aimed at kids 3 to 7 years old, and early readers from 5 to 8 that are designed to help kiddos start reading on their own. Examples of children's books include The Macho Books by our very own Haley Fuchs-Stainwood, Goodnight Moon by Margaret Wise Brown, Where the Wild Things Are by Maurice Sendak, If You Give a Mouse a Cookie by Laura Numeroff, and The Cat in the Hat by Dr. Seuss. Next up is chapter books. These are for ages 6 to 10 and have short chapters, illustrations, and simple plots. These books are meant to bridge the gap between children's books and middle grade books. Examples include The Magic Treehouse series by Mary Pope Osborne, Junie B. Jones by Barbara Park, the Boxcar Children series by Gertrude Chandler Warner, the Ramona Quimby series by Beverly Cleary, and the Amelia Bedelia series by Peggy Parrish and Herman Parrish. Next are the middle grade books. These are for ages 8 to 14 and are where the plots get more complex, but are still appropriate for young readers. Themes are mostly on friendship, adventure, self-discovery, and belonging, and weave humor throughout to stay accessible to the young audience. Examples include Nancy Drew by Carolyn Keene, The Hardy Boys by Franklin W. Dixon, Percy Jackson and the Olympians by Rick Riordan, Harry Potter by J.K. Rowling, and Goosebumps by R.L. Stine. Now, if you were surprised to hear Harry Potter and Percy Jackson listed in middle grade, it's because of their starting ages in the first books, and the themes presented throughout the stories. These series don't have the narrative style or complex issues often found in YA books, and are also very light on the romance. Next up are young adult books. These are for ages 12 to 18 and are more coming-of-age type stories. They're told from a teen's perspective and focus on issues relevant to teenagers, like identity, relationships, rebellion and independence, first experiences, and self-discovery. The writing style is also fast-paced, and these stories will often have high emotional stakes. The themes can be a little darker since YA readers are a little more mature, but it's my opinion that YA books should not include any explicit content, even if romance is an element in the story. This age group designation is getting a lot of attention right now because of the books like Fourth Wing or A Court of Thorns and Roses being on the shelves next to The Hunger Games and Six of Crows. YA is about the intended age group of readers, even if they're written in such a way that adults can enjoy them as well. Just because an adult is reading a YA book does not mean YA books should have mature content. Explicit content belongs in books written for adults, not for minors. Examples of YA books include The Hunger Games trilogy by Suzanne Collins, the Divergent series by Veronica Roth, Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo, The Book Thief by Marcus Zuzak, City of Bones by Cassandra Clare, Ready Player One by Ernest Cline, and Becoming Hook by Mary Meekum. Next is new adult books. This is a somewhat newer description meant to bridge the gap between YA and adult. This is intended for ages 18 to 25, often with college-aged protagonists going through the struggles of early adulthood that aren't appropriate for younger readers. New adult books, in my opinion, is where books like Fourth Wing and ACOTAR should be living. These examples include, as you probably guessed, Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros, A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas, which is often abbreviated as ACOTAR. It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover, and The Scholomance trilogy by Naomi Novik. And then finally we have adult books. These are generally for ages 18 plus, adults. The main characters will be in their adult years, be in adult professions, and have complex plots. It's meant for adult themes and struggles, not just for the explicit content that's popular among the majority of Book Talk readers. Examples of adult books are Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree, The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo by Stieg Larsson, Hallmark-style romance novels, of which you can find an infinite number, dark romance novels, most horror and thriller novels, Clive Cussler's Dirk Pitt novels, A.G. Riddle's sci-fi books, including his Atlantis Gene trilogy, and Michael Crichton's books. And a smattering of those includes Jurassic Park, Timeline, and The Andromeda Strain. Adult is where you will find the widest range of books, regardless of genre. Keep in mind that the intended reader age of books doesn't mean that older audiences won't read in a lower age group. Young adult in particular is wildly popular among older readers, particularly a generation that grew up reading Harry Potter, and those older too. You may find that while you're writing for YA, your actual reader audience could be much older. And if you know that, it will impact how you end up marketing your books over time. If you're uncertain about which category your book falls into, ask your writer and reader friends to read a sample and tell you what they think. But remember, if you're in your first draft stage, which you can practically fly through with the 60-day novel writing challenge, your primary focus should be on getting the story out of your head, not worrying about which age range you're in. Age range mostly has to do with how you market and also determines what agents to pitch to if you're going traditional. But you can't do either of those things without a finished first draft, or second draft, so let's do that first. Check out the link in the description to learn how you can join the 60-day challenge and have that first draft done in the next 2 months. That's it for today's episode. Thanks for joining me, and remember, the first draft is supposed to be garbage. Thanks for listening to the Novel Writing Podcast. If you're ready to stop struggling and start finishing your novel, check out the 60-Day Novel Writing Challenge. It's a step-by-step program designed for solo writers to complete their first draft with clarity and focus. Visit the link in the description to learn more.